Hey, everybody. So, yeah, we're here and we're doing these things, and it's just me right at the moment because Jeff is like, you know, making the pee pee somewhere or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. He said he'd be here. He's got to go make a dash or something. But we're gonna talk about let's de-winterize your truck. I don't know. Did y'all see that thumbnail? Come on, it was pretty good, right? It was. Come on, look at the legs on that sexy guy right there. I look, that's pretty true depiction. Okay, the upper body doesn't look like that, but whatever. Tried to get the farmer tan going on, couldn't quite get it, but you get the point. Oh my god. I look, I don't know. I know you better stop it, Matt. Anyhow, we're gonna do these things. We'll be right back. We got some other people popping on. If you want to pop in and talk about what kind of things need to be done to get your truck ready for the summer, because that's my favorite time. Uh, Feel free to click the link, join the studio, and we will get you up there. Don't be bad people. And we'll see you in just a couple of minutes after I click this button right here.
Paying too much for trucking insurance? What if you could save more by making one simple phone call and keep more profit? You could very well do just that with one simple call to Seabright Agency, 800-366-6466. Call now.
Now here's a question that all owner-operators and small fleet owners should consider. What happens when you access the unrivaled advantages that are available through the ES Advantage program? We asked Jeff and Charlie from Contractors Corner to share their thoughts on how they've been able to utilize the discounts and services that are a part of the ES Advantage.
So we started looking for a way to save money on fuel. And we were turned on to the ES Advantage program for fuel first. So we got a hold of Jeff Reese, and he ran us through that program. And man, we were starting to save. And then we started talking to them. Well, we saw their website, and we said, Jeff, what's this thing about insurance and accounting and
Right.
you lease trucks? What?
Right, and that's the thing, is we only knew it as a fuel card. And when we started digging deeper, I mean, we ended up getting hooked up with an insurance provider, Seabright Agency, and they created an entire insurance program just for us and our people. And from that, we've learned that, now there's even more potential. There's a greater opportunity, and it's completely opened up our eyes and broadened our vision into what it is we're trying to do, which is help people do better. Wrapped with the ES community just makes that process so much easier.
Now, if you're an owner-operator or small fleet owner and you would like to learn more about how you can drive savings to the bottom line of your business, the ES Advantage program has the discounts and services that deliver the kind of unrivaled advantages that are designed to help you improve your overall operation. Get connected with the ES Advantage today.
Dear God, he's not even here. Do we really have to talk about the custom Western Star? Look, God, don't encourage him, y'all. It's not good. Anyhow, I hope y'all are doing well. Craig was first. Other people were second. Undertaker, something like that. I don't know. Chris, third, whatever. Hi. Hope y'all doing well. Got some Pizza King for me. Whoa, hey. Rosie's bringing pizza back. Get this. These women, they left me in charge of the little kids, the two littlest, right? I'm like, I'm doing the show at 6, and they left it like 10 till, and I'm like, okay, I'm good with that. Watch what happens. They come in here and ask me whatever they ask. Yes, go ahead. Yep. Can we light the dog on fire? No, it's probably a no, but do what you think is right. Because that's Grandpa. I'm just saying. Oh, God. I hope you guys are doing well. My Target account is officially gone. Mixed emotions about that. A little sad, little happy, you know. Nice. Motor City cheese bread. So you're home. That's good. You're not traveling. Good for you, man. I'm glad. You know, he sent me a video I was supposed to watch earlier and I forgot I didn't watch it because I'm not a good person. I'm look, it's like me texting people back. Or well, actually calling people back is my problem. Yeah, or answering the phone. Wait, I actually answered the phone when Narc called today. That was weird. What's up, DJ? Good to see you. Papa, can we have peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Oh, of course. If they want to, open a bottle of tequila, I'm like, whatever, have at it. It's good stuff. I'm not allowed to drink it anymore because of my stupid medications. Got me a little upset about that. I'm just saying that's a whole different show we could get into there. Oh, you finished it. Nice. Should be home rest summer. Oh, that's awesome. I bet that'll make the wife happier or unhappy because you're going to be underfoot all the time again. I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes you figure it's going to go one way or the other, and whatever way you figure it is, it's probably wrong. Oh, God. Yeah, and Narc's going to have a live one after this one, by the way. He is going to pop in. He said he'd pop in because, we like to talk about maintenance stuff with him. Hopefully Quick will pop in here as well because love that dude. He's a night dude and super informative on the mechanical stuff. But, Craig actually gave me this topic today. And I said, Craig, give me something, man, because I got nothing. Jeff's got nothing. And our brains aren't braining. And I'm just, thinking about all this Target ending and that sort of thing. And then I saw, I got switched over to the Ocala terminal today. So that's done. And I am on our load board. So I got my first real look at it, on my own with my own name and all that kind of stuff today. So that's man, there's some nice power only freight on there. Actually, I thought it was pretty impressive. Oh, look at Jenny. Jenny's driving. What could go wrong?
Well, I'm not driving. I'm riding.
Okay, that's fair. You can do that then.
And I'll be here with you for a moment. I just thought I'd pop in and see what we were talking crazy about today.
Well, we're just trying to get people's trucks ready for the summer because, there's some differences and things we need to get done. Right.
Right.
So let's see. After I eat, I'm going to come say hi. Yes, sir. Thank you. The FBI know about this, Charlie? About what? Wait, what? What are you saying, man? You're confusing me, Chris. Yeah, you guys got all the good freight covered for me. Yeah, watch. We're going to start fighting for stuff, man. That's what's going to happen. I'm just saying.
You got to get that summertime air in the tires, right?
Right? Exactly.
That's important.
Look, I'm not going to lie. Like this, I have been slacking like most of the winter. Well, since I picked up this truck, I have not been a tire nut like I have been. I need to get back in that, especially now because, reasons. Somebody just closed my door. My son must be taking
You must
charge.
have been loud.
Right? He must be taking charge of the littles because why not? I don't look. They were like, yeah, we're gonna walk over to the middle school with my oldest grandson because he starts there next year and they're doing like the tour and all that stuff today. And I'm like, great, that's fabulous. I'm starting my show at 6 like usual. They're like, okay, yeah, the baby's daddy will be here. And I'm like, great, because I'm gonna be doing my show. And 5 minutes before, Rose's like, hey, you're gonna watch the kids, right? I'm like, what are you talking about? Where is their father? And they're like, oh, he went to work. I'm like, you told me he was going to be here. I'm like, whatever. Y'all get out of here. It'll be fine. As long as there's no fires. And they'll come let me know if there's a fire. That they will do. So I'm just saying. Narc told me get rid of Jen. I'm just saying, Jenny, bye, 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 Jenny. That was my new song. I just wrote that for you. You're welcome. New trucks don't need any maintenance. You're good, Charlie. Yes, Narc. Thank you, sir. I was going to say that to some people, but I didn't want to give that official notice out there because, then someone's going to be like, bro, my engine blew and it's all your fault. And my granddaughter brought me something. She said, look, I made this for you. It's got a bunch of little tiny clippies on it. And it's a rainbowy page. That's so cute. She loves me, kind of, sort of, most of the time, sometimes. Every now and again. I don't know. I enjoy it. Jenny muted herself, and that's cool. Whatever. I didn't want to talk to her anymore either. Yeah. So when we get Jeff in here, Jeff said he's going to be here shortly. He had to run inside and, handle that tinkle business, stuff like that. I just got done PM. I got to take mine in set mine in for a PM next week. I should probably, call someone and get that appointment set up since, we're not allowed to do that ourselves because that would be crazy talk. Whatever. I just got done PM in my truck. I got to put it up here, Tim. Grease everything, oil, change the oil, change my dryer filter, engine air filter, fuel filters, air pump. Yep. I got all this. In fact, on this one, I got the power steering filter to change as well because I'm at that 100,000 mark. So that's always fun, and just to pump up that bill, just saying, because why not? Don't forget, adjust the blinker bearings and top off your blinker fluid because a lot of people seem to be out of it lately. I did notice that this week and it was very annoying. I'm just going to say that out loud. And Jeff is here, and I think Jeff is ready to come in. He's rubbing his head. Maybe he's not ready to come in. He might be too tired for this. I don't know, Jeff. How you feeling, buddy?
Well, StreamYard's not recognizing my Bluetooth headset today.
Oh, well, that's nice. Why not? It loves you.
No, it doesn't. So, whatever. I'll just talk loud, I guess.
Hey, it's not so bad. Yeah, so adjusting the blinker bearings, definitely something we need to do, preparing our truck for the summer months, things like that. Hey Jeff, how you like that thumbnail, man?
Okay. Why do I look like an Alaskan?
Wait, here. How do I do this? One sec, watch. Look at the screen, ready?
So everything's a risk?
It's de-winterizing.
Okay.
Look at the sexy legs on that man that I am right there. I'm just saying. That's pretty damn close to the real color of my legs, too. My flamingo shorts? What? Just saying. I'm going to rock them.
I think you should have the trucker tan, though, Charlie.
Dude, so like 30 iterations of this thumbnail, this was as close as I got, bro.
Wow.
I mean, you can see a slight tan line across that bicep.
Why can't I hear Charlie?
Because you're broken? Whatever. Yep. That's how we do. Light by 18 wheels. What's going on, man? Also in the winter, soak a towel in warm water and place it on the windshield to keep it from freezing. Yeah, that's. T-Bone is full of all kinds of good help today.
I can't take all this fun. I'm going to go.
We'll see you, Jenny. Thank you. Look at her. She's like, how do I push the buttons? I don't know. I don't know how to fix the buttons. She's hilarious. Oh, man. So, Matt just took a shower, Jeff.
That's weird. I mean, good for you, Matt.
Right? Oh, my gosh. Going on the left looks more like Bernie Sanders than Jeff. Stop it.
At least he didn't say Biden.
Right?
Cornflake.
Popsicles. Let me smell your hair, little girl. What?
So
That's
did you see
not
the news
weird.
Did you see the news out of OPEC today, Charlie?
Yes.
United Arab Emirates is out. They are leaving OPEC the 1st of next month.
I think that's going to be
Apparently-
an interesting thing.
Apparently, they're tired of OPEC telling them how much oil they can sell.
You know,
Which, that's been an open secret for decades that OPEC
Right.
actually manipulates the supply the way they do.
right.
And the UAE is like, you know what? If there's demand, we're going to sell our stuff. Up yours, man.
You would think that that's how it should work. I'm just saying. But, I don't know. I don't
Apparently they're
understand enough of that oil crap.
Apparently, the articles that I was reading today, they're the third largest oil producer in the Middle East behind Saudi Arabia and Kuwait.
Right.
So they don't just have a member of theirs leaving, they have one of the top 3 leaving.
Right.
And one analyst was saying that he thinks that it might widen the divide among other member nations. So
Interesting.
OPEC might just dissolve over the next decade.
Be interesting to see what that actually does to the market, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in theory, it should drop it.
Yeah, that guy was saying don't expect it to drop like a rock or anything, but it'll definitely put downward pressure on the market.
Right. Yeah, it'd be nice if it dropped tomorrow. Not really, but you know what I mean. For the rest of the world.
So, I've been seeing all this stuff on Facebooks, how do you like them low gas prices, guys? And I'm like, well, it's gone down 25 cents in the last 2 weeks, so I
Right.
don't know. Seems
Bro.
like some things are happening.
Yeah, I don't know, man. The political scene is all screwed up. Let's be real, like usual.
It's
It doesn't
bizarre.
matter what side you're on.
Yeah. So,
Should I
That's
put my
just,
hat on already? Is it too early for my hat?
that's just something that could definitely affect our business,
Yeah, How many people did I just piss off? Let me know in the comments. Just saying.
Probably just under half
Right.
would be my guess.
Oh
Just
man. But it's okay. It's all in good fun. I kid. I'm a kidder. Not really. I'm still at home for health stuff. Gonna be another week before I go back out. That's crazy, bro. I signed my new contract today, Jeff.
Did you?
Yep. And while I was skimming it and going through it,
Yeah.
because I wanted to get it done, I inadvertently missed the fact. So I saw my name and my address and all that, right?
Yeah.
But I missed right next to my name, my DBA was somebody else's DBA.
Well, that's no good.
Yeah. And I signed that contract, sent it back to him. I was like, oh, crap.
You're supposed to read it before you sign it, Charlie.
Bro, I was going back through it at that point. And of course, first page, I had missed something. Go figure. Yeah, it was fantastic. But I got it fixed, and I am officially now an Ocala driver, Jeff, on the percentage load board. I have access to it.
You've been checking it out?
I looked at it like 10 minutes before this when I realized it was all finally done. And there's some nice power-only loads on there. I was pretty shocked by those.
Yeah.
Yeah, like seriously. I'm gonna have to figure out how to finagle some of those because it seems like that might be worth some stuff.
Right.
But I'm not in the right position for it yet. They were coming out of like Georgia and stuff. But yeah, so people are already asking how your custom Western Star was doing, and Narc's like, of course it's doing fine. It's custom. Yeah, Narc's gonna pop in a little bit. Oh,
Okay.
is Jenny back? Nope, Jenny's not back. Big faker. She's like popped her camera on, popped back out, got everything muted. See how she is? Um, dude, I can't. I'm still cracking up over the legs in my little picture there. I can't not unsee that for some reason. Matt, I
That's
hope.
that's all you can see of yourself on there right now.
Yeah, right. I guess so. Yes, Tim. Absolutely to the percentage instead of mileage. Uh, the way things are going right now, I think that is the way for Rosie and I to go. Uh, yeah, Craig's running my loads right now. Bastard. Him and Chris have been slaying it. In fact, I just found out a little while ago that Craig was over here in Ocala, and I should have went up there this morning. Had I known, I actually would have gone up there this morning. My bad.
Well, yeah, if you answered your phone every once in a while, I'm sure he called you to let you know.
No, he didn't call me. But I did answer when he called. It was totally accidental. I had just hung up with somebody, and when it hung up, it automatically answered his call. So I was like, he was like, hello, hello. I was like, what the hell? Someone's talking on my phone. Oh, look, it's Craig. Yeah, it was funny.
It's good for you, man.
Yeah, you know.
Little mystery in life.
I do prefer to stay closer to home and make more money doing so, Jim. That's what I'm looking at. Making more money, less wear and tear, less maintenance, less tire wear, all of those things, less fuel. Ultimately, the goal is to run less miles and double the money I've been making. That's my goal.
Sounds like a good goal to me.
Or run the same miles I'm running and double my income. That's it. So, we'll see how that works out. As I move along, of course, I'll share some stuff. But Craig and Chris have been sharing all along. They're doing really well. So, yeah. And Tim, you're in a prime spot for it. I'm not trying to talk you into it, but where you live is a prime spot to be running off this percentage board. Because, yeah, good rates. And let's be real, I don't think the rates are going to be going down anytime soon. They're finally on that, uptick, which should last for, quite some time right now. Months, but we'll see. Maybe the year, that would be nice. But yeah. So today's topic, de-winterize or die. And I got to thinking about some stuff. This was a Craig topic, Jeff, by the way. He threw it at me earlier. And I was like, oh, that's a good one. That's probably not a bad idea. Oh, and the Blitz is coming up.
That's right.
So y'all be careful with that. If you ain't right, get right now. You dig? You need to be right ahead of time. I mean, all of our viewers, of course, are right. But, for anyone who's just tuning in for the first time, you might want to make sure all your dots, your T's are dotted and your I's are crossed, something like that. You guys know what I mean. You can work your way anywhere you want on the load board, Tim. That's the beautiful thing about it. Tim said, well, I'd consider it if I could still work my way west, even if it means a shorter loads. I just hate east of the Mississippi. So one of the things I have seen or heard, rather, is the rates are not as good going that way. So, there's that. Seems like the good freight is all east of the Mississippi.
Yep, that's what we've been seeing so far.
The industry as a whole is moving away from those longer loads. I mean, let's just be real about it. And that's something that they've been working on for, several years at this point. They have been trying to, turn everybody into a regional contractor, or a regional carrier, right? That's why you see a lot of these shorter loads, and it's also why these shorter loads pay better.
Yeah.
You know, it used to be a premium to get teams to run your expedited freight coast to coast. It's not needed anymore. For the most part, it's becoming a niche market, which the giants don't want to compete in anymore. We got carriers like Jeff's carrier, Panther, who that's their niche. That's what they do. Not great for Jeff as a solo, but but as if you've got teams running and you're in that market, man, you could slay it. Just not at a big carrier.
Yeah.
And even a lot of that freight isn't really that long necessarily. It's just stuff they need moved now, quickly, without stopping, high security, things like that.
Yep.
And a good reputation of not wrecking and being late and things like that, of course. Tim Ransom, if you're going percentage, you have to stay east of Mississippi. The best market is the Northeast. Yeah, I'm just not going up Northeast, though. I'm just saying. I'm okay with not going there at all. The rates down in my neck of the woods are pretty good, and I'm all right with that. Besides, can't carry up there in that Northeast. Just saying. If I can't carry, I ain't going. I understand. Constitution, just saying. Shall not be infringed. God. I'm going to trigger people, Jeff. Watch out. It'll be fun, though. What's the worst that could happen? Can't get my camera right. I don't know. Whatever. Jeff, you look thrilled to death to be here today, buddy. I'm glad to see you, though.
I've been up since 1.
Yeah, that's fair. I ignored the world yesterday. It was crazy.
You probably didn't even send that email I told you to send.
Nope. I didn't do shit yesterday. Anything yesterday. Damn, sorry. Donna, I apologize. There was nothing done at all. But I did get my contract moved over today, so that was a thing. And that was kind of important. And then I had to tell them that my fuel cards never showed up. That was a bummer.
Oh.
So they're going to resend them. Somebody got my comm data cards somewhere. I didn't. I don't know what the heck is going on there, but it's been almost a month and I don't have them. But yeah, so I got a B service coming up. Like I said, I got to get one set up for next week. Some other things people might want to look at while they're trying to de-winterize and get their truck ready for this the warmer season. I had thought about some stuff. You guys that run up there in the Northeast and that sort of thing, where they salt roads and use chemicals and all that, you really might want to get the underside of your truck and engine compartment and just, everything cleaned up real good. Get that stuff off of there so you're not accelerating the deterioration of all your metal parts and such. Just saying. I saw a thing where they say use a 2-stage. Let me see if I can find that real quick. 2 stages for cleaning that sort of stuff. Where is it? Oh, this one. Oh, I pulled up the wrong window. Dang it. Jeff, make the windows work.
What are you trying to do?
Find the window I had open earlier.
Oh,
You know how that can be sometimes.
So, Tim, what is it with you in the East? I get the traffic and stuff like that, but if that's where the money is, I don't know. Let's say you're making a net profit of $2,000 a week right now doing what you're doing. But if you were willing to run Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Florida for a couple of weeks a month, and
Right.
you could net $4,000 a week, isn't that worth it? I mean, you got to look at that bottom line, man. Because we have people that are on percentage that are literally running the same miles, and this is East Coast guys, running short haul percentage loads that literally doubled their income.
Here it is. I found my notes.
I mean, I live out west, Charlie, and I don't stay over there
Right.
at all. I go east as soon as possible. And even when I was at Swift, I did that.
Right.
The West Coast is just so expensive to run.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. You touch Oregon, and all of a sudden you've got a $300 bill in the mail for taxes, right? Not in the mail. I mean, Swift pays it and then bills you, but seriously, those states aren't worth running to me at this point.
Right.
I literally, Charlie, I've been back to Oregon once since I left that state. Since I moved 4 years ago, I've been back once.
Yeah, I've only been a couple times, and that was just to go see my mom. So I got loads out there, And
I took a load out to Lebanon, Oregon, and then got out of there, and I haven't been back since. I regret that one load. Even though it would have meant I had to sit in Salt Lake for a couple more days waiting for a load going east, it just wasn't worth my time to go there.
Right. Road tax, everything else, fuel prices. I mean, good Lord. The man with his foot on your neck.
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
California is not so bad as long as you don't have to fuel there.
Right.
That's one of the things that people can't wrap their mind around. It's actually more profitable to run the state of California than it is to run the state of Oregon. Even though California gets that, they've got that reputation of being so far out there, politically, tax-wise, all that stuff. It's actually much more expensive to run in Oregon.
Yep, because they take what California does and makes it worse.
Right. And what I would do is I would fill up the tanks in like Phoenix.
Right.
That gets me to LA and back out. I don't have to buy fuel in California.
Yep.
Especially since they have that their fuel tax is up there around $1 now. $1 a gallon. There is no more question on whether or not you fuel up in California anymore.
Right. A two-step salt removal process, right? I looked this up because I wasn't sure either. And what they're saying is to use a two-soap method, a high alkaline pre-wash to strip the road film.
High alkaline, you said?
Yeah. And then follow up by an acidic soap to actually dissolve the salt and minerals.
Okay.
Right. And I mean, look, I've seen an awful lot of trucks that, run the Northeast almost exclusively, and you look at their frames and they are just bubbled up, man. You're like, that shouldn't be that bad this fast. I mean, your truck's only 3 years old. Looks like you've been out here running 20 years on it.
Right.
You get a tiny little pit in that frame coat, and you get one little bit of that stuff underneath that coat, and it just starts spreading underneath it, and then it starts bubbling out, and rust pockets start building, and oh my God, and then it just looks terrible. Not to mention it weakens all those things, and you want to focus on the joint, shafts, the undercarriage, all those places where it builds up and it weakens the frame. These are kind of important things, especially for people like you, Tim, that have had your truck for a while. You own the truck, and you're keeping the truck. You definitely want to be taking care of these things, because I assure you, in a couple of years, you'll be sad if you didn't. And it's a pain in the butt to get all that stuff off once it starts happening. It's a lot of work, because I had some start happening on Chewy, but Chewy's an 08 truck, 07 truck.
Right.
little more understandable at this point, you know. But trying to get that off there is damn near impossible, man. It's so much work. You got to grind it all out, then you got to paint it, and all. You got to treat it with chemicals, and oh my gosh, it's a lot of work. Cooling system. Cooling system is another thing to check out. You know, we're so used to worrying about it freezing up, but we really need to worry about it starting to bubble over, y'all. We're getting into that time of the year. You know, Wyoming is whatever. I mean, you get snow in Wyoming in July. Let's be real. But you know, the rest of the normal world is starting to heat up. And of course, 50% more likely to overheat in the summer is what they say. The radiator. So the little fins between, like the thin little aluminum stuff, don't take a real high pressure washer to it because you'll bend them, and that will stop airflow, which will screw up the cooling effect of the air blowing through that over the pipes and such. Your charge air cooler usually sitting out there in front of that. Same thing. You want to, you know, use kind of a low pressure wash to kind of knock most of that stuff out of there. There's really not a whole lot else you can do about it. But if you can get those fins cleaned out as much as possible, I mean, it's going to increase your cooling capacity, right? Get your coolant checked. Make sure that the percentages are right. You know, that it's got the right mixture in there to, you know, if it does get hot and starts to bubble up, that if you're not getting that crazy cavitation in the pistons and things. You know what I'm saying. Words are not my friend right now. Let's see. Rubber and belts, right? That stuff's going to start. Get to your radiator hoses, right? All those big water lines. Give them a little squeeze towards the end where they connect to a metal or whatever else they connect to. Those hoses tend to wear out from the inside out, and the outside will start to crack if, you know, they're not maintained too, but they seem to wear out more on the inside than they do on the outside. And so you don't really know what's happening. If it's much weaker in certain spots, you know, not quite as stiff or hard to squeeze, you may want to start taking a look at that and maybe swapping out some of those fittings or hoses and such. If you squeeze it and you're getting a little leak around that, again, definitely time to replace something or tighten something up. Let's see. Oh, your belts, right? Start looking for that glazing, you know, that's showing that it's getting hot and starting to wear out and getting old. Look for cracks. Those small cracks will turn into a shredded belt real quick. And then you got no AC, you got no power, you got nothing working, you're just screwed, you know. Electrical stuff, batteries, health, get those terminals cleaned up. You know, I do mine typically once a year right before the winter. Not a bad idea to do it, you know, pre-summer, pre-winter, right? Every 2 quarters. Get in there, brush them off, make sure you don't have any of that white funky crap building up. That's indicating, you know, that corrosion.
Get some of that terminal sealer, Charlie. You got me turned on to that.
Yeah, that stuff's amazing.
You spray that up.
I can't think what it's called.
Stay clean a lot longer.
Yeah,
it doesn't last forever, but
no, but it'll get you through a year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that I did see, you know, and about a year is where you really need to get in there and re-clean everything and do it all over again. And, you know, but again, every 6 months may not be a bad plan either. You're just going to help keep that system cleaner, more efficient, and actually, you know, better connections. You know, so get in there, clean those battery terminals, get a beautiful little product to clean off the whole outside of the battery as well, because you never know, there could be some acidic crap out there.
Well, you know, the stuff that I've got that I use, Charlie,
Mm-hmm.
I just get it at Napa. I can't remember what it's called, but I've got a can of it at the house. It actually reacts to battery acid.
Right.
It turns pink, so you know if your batteries are leaking.
Yeah, I've got some that it foams up when it hits that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And changes color. And so I've got a cleaner, I've got a stripper, Wire tools, clean out the inside of those terminals, things like that. If you got the round posts, if you got the little, like most of us have, make sure that those terminal ends are not all corroded, rusty. Get in there with some steel wool or some sandpaper, like a emery cloth type one. Those seem to work best. Make sure those terminals don't have any of that corrosive crap on it. Put it all back together, right? And then use one of those sealers on it. I can't think of what the one I use is. I can't think of the name. You could probably run out to the shop and get it, but maybe I'll do that during the break. It's a red can for battery terminal cleaning and sealing. There's 2 or 3 products that they sell for that in that brand. 3 stages, I think it is. Definitely worth weight in gold, man, because you got to make those batteries last as good as you can. Because if you don't, you're just throwing money away, and everybody, when it happens, you'll be some crappy place where you got to get a road call, and a $300 battery just became $2,000.
Yep.
And it's a battery you don't even want. It's some crap low end BS. And you're like, as soon as I get to a place where I can replace it, I'm gonna throw this in the trash can because it's that bad. So why not take a look at it?
And learn how to test your batteries yourself.
Right? Get those battery reconditioners. I mean, it's pretty easy to check the battery. It maintains it, drains it, recharges it, kind of a deal. And we're pretty much all running sealed batteries now. But what it'll do is it'll change polarities inside to clean some of this stuff off, is the way I understand that it works. And then it slow charges back up to build that charge base again. Over time, as batteries are discharged, they charge less and less. That's just how batteries work. So they've only got so many charges in them, you know what I mean? Until they just aren't effective and efficient anymore. But, and if you're up in that 3-year range, a hot summer could be the last bit your batteries are going to get if you're not really taking care of them. Granted, for us, 3 years is a good long time to own a set of batteries. I would take 3 years and replace them and be happy.
Yep.
I would not be upset by having to replace at 3 years. Every 18 months, when I was actually buying batteries for Chewy, I would buy batteries about 18 months from AutoZone or something like that. I can't remember. I think it was AutoZone. And they had an 18-month warranty. And at 18 months, And at 18 months, I'd go back and be like, hey, can you test these batteries? They're coming up on 18 months. And it was funny because I'd take all 4 batteries in. They'd go, yeah, here's 4 brand new batteries. I get another 18 months out of them. Now I'm at 3 years on paying for one set at $110 a battery, and never had any start problems.
Charlie, I think I figured out why they do that, though.
Yeah?
It's not completely altruistic.
Oh, no.
Because at half-life, they can recondition those things.
Right.
In their factory, like an Interstate Battery or whatever. Do whatever they do to recondition them.
Yep.
And they basically have a brand new battery at that point that they can sell.
But again, you can actually do some of that yourself, reconditioning.
Mm-hmm.
There are ways to do it depending on the type of battery. And I mean, look, I'm not going to get into that because it's confusing on some batteries and it's really easy on others. Sealed batteries are a pain in the butt, whatever. But there are some electronic reconditioning things you can get out there. A lot of the newer battery charger systems actually have a recondition mode on them. I'm not completely sure how they work, but allegedly they work.
Science,
smart people. And definitely, check the voltage on each of your batteries. Make sure that they're actually putting out what they should be. Check your alternator. Is it putting out the right thing here? Why isn't it? Maybe those connections aren't doing real good. Sometimes those connections come loose. Rattling 12-volt wires will start fires and arcing.
Yep.
It's like welding. I mean, look, they will weld stuff. You grab hold of a socket wrench, right? And while you're tightening up a terminal and accidentally connect positive and negative and tell me you ain't scared.
Yep.
And that you didn't just throw that wrench somewhere.
If you can get it off the terminal.
Yeah, yeah. And you got welded stuff going on. I'm just saying, don't be careful. Don't let it fool you. Definitely, man, electrical is bad because electrical fires happen and you're like, oh, I don't even know what happened, and it's too late. Once it happens, it happens. Maybe you can get lucky and cut your battery lines really fast. Oh, Mark Ollinger, our TLG mechanic told me to make sure all the battery connections are tightened weekly. I had some miscellaneous error codes, tightened up 3 connections. No more missing. Yeah, and that's exactly it. I don't know that I would do it every week. I mean, I might eyeball some stuff, touch stuff like I do. I'm not getting tools out every week. Just saying. I think that's a little overkill. But hey, I'm not going to knock you if you do that. That's like me touching tires, man. That's, whatever. Money's money. All these things are expensive. And like I said, having to get a battery replaced on the side of the road, not great. Had it happen. Was not thrilled. The TA, south of Portland, that's who came out for me, Jeff.
Oh, okay.
A $900 battery.
Those guys.
$900 battery.
Oh, the $60 battery.
Right. Oh, I was pissed. They're like, that's all we got, man. I'm like, it's not even close to what I got in there. Cranking amps wise. That's all we got, bro. Jesus. So, yeah, save yourself these headaches, check these things out. Why find yourself stuck on the side of the road from a broken belt?
Yep.
When all you had to do was check it out every day. I mean, you should be looking at those every day, but, really right now, take the time, in the next couple of weeks and really take a look at them. In fact, I would actually say do it this week because we got the blitz coming up, and don't think that they ain't looking at that stuff.
Right.
If your belts are glazed and cracking, they're going to start looking for even more. I don't know what this year's focus is. I haven't looked at it. I just treat it like every year is every year. You know what I mean? If they're doing an inspection,
I've yet to get pulled in during the blitz.
20
years, I haven't been inspected that week yet.
Yeah, me either.
I'm not one of those people that stays home for it. I just do my job.
See, I typically would stay home simply because I didn't want to deal with the hassle. Yeah, and the years I have been out, I think we were out last year for it. Nothing.
Mm-hmm. So a couple of things that was mentioned in my little inspection interview with Panther the other day, Charlie.
Right.
Things that they notice get violations most often were things like tire tread depth, the DOT stick reflective tape.
Right.
That's another one. And not having ready access to your permit book. I thought that one was interesting.
Yeah, mine sits right over my head.
They said technically it's not a violation as long as you can get it for them. But if they see that you're scrambling for it, they pay a little more attention and they find that tape, they find that tread depth,
right.
They find this, they find that. Because they figure if you don't know where your paperwork is,
yeah, what else don't you know?
What else are you sloughing off on? It's one of those telltale things.
And Tim says, I don't know why they even announced it. I mean, does the health inspector warn a restaurant when they're coming? No, but you know what's funny about that? How many people still fail it miserably based on the thing that they specifically said they will be looking at most hard?
Yeah, I remember a couple of years ago it was brakes,
Yeah.
out of investment. And it was like thousands of people got taken out of service that week.
Yeah, it had like a ridiculously high percentage failure rate.
And every time this happens too, Charlie, TA Petro, they've got that mid-trip
Right.
inspection that's like $20, $20-$30, and they'll do a quick DOT on your truck. And the reason they do that is because if they find something, they can charge you to fix it.
Right.
That's why they do that. But hey, I think last year they were actually doing it for free.
Yeah.
There was a line, but they would do it for free.
Right. So why not take advantage of something like that? I mean, I'm literally going to end up with a DOT inspection next week. Well, whenever I get my truck in for the B service, because that's what my carrier does. And, this is one of my more in-depth PMs that even when I hit 100,000 miles, every 100,000 miles, I get a little more in-depth PM. Hey now, Sage. Hey now. Wow, that's a trigger. Every time I can't help it. Wow, completely broke my brain. I just saw Sage and hey now. Yeah, so my carrier does a DOT when they do their PMs. Okay, I ain't mad. It's just part of the process, and they seem to be quick to point things out. They point all kinds of stuff out. I'm like, can you just shut up for a minute? You'd be really helping me out here. But they're not, and that's fine. And look who we have there. Yeah, give him the hard face, Jeff.
Hold on.
Don't tell us what to do. Not my daddy.
Are you sure?
Oh my God! I just looked at my shorts again with the flamingos. Those are awesome. I need to get a pair just like that. Little tiny short legs too.
I have a pair of surfer shorts.
Oh, that's hot. Oh, good Lord. What's going on, Sage? Been a minute. Glad to see you. Hope your world is good.
Fuck Sage.
Hey.
Get Sage out of here.
Wait,
Since you guys are unprepared, I'll fucking here.
Wait.
There's battery terminal protector.
Show me the red can.
West, right? There's cleaner.
Show me the red can.
I don't have a red can. I probably have a red can, like CRC is probably your red can, right? Made by CRC.
Probably.
Looks like that, probably. Like
Yeah,
that's the one.
Yep.
Yep.
I mean, all of them make it, but look, this stuff's really good. If you get battery terminal cleaner, get it with the acid leak detection stuff, right? It will turn. It's like yellow foam. It's yellow foam, and then it will turn fucking red if it detects any acid, which it always will. Why did you bring him in here? Are we doing insurance now? You invited me first. Me first.
Narc is a jerk.
He just wanted to come harass you, bro. I can see it.
That's what it says.
Boss battle.
You want to see Sage get pissed? Ready?
Yeah. Make America.
Oh yeah, T baby, T.
Brother, what's up, brother?
Right, large T,
Yeah.
capital T, large
Absolutely. Make America great again. Get rid of Trump. That's how we do that.
T. Get rid of
Just
it.
like I lost it. I've lost control of everything.
Well, they tried to get on
hell.
Saturday. They need more training or something. I don't know.
That was staged like January 6th.
That was
Oh,
that
God.
was a great response. Just leave them alone. No additional trading needed. They're fine.
He said no additional training needed.
Anyhow, let's get back to maintenance, bro.
Yeah.
That stuff. So, like, CRC
Yeah.
is the brand I use, I believe. It's
Yeah, and CRC. Oh, I don't know about truck stops, but AutoZone carries CRC.
Yep, that's where I get it.
Yep, Kimball. So Kimball Midwest is a. They're just. I don't know where they rebrand
I
from,
actually
but
have
like
a can
they're
of
a.
that somewhere too.
Do what?
I have a can like that one too.
Yeah, they sell like bulk stuff to shops like Granger and Fastenal do. Kimball Midwest does, so you probably see them around. They're all probably pretty good. I'll be honest, right? They're all probably pretty good. Some of them, you get into name brands like Certified and stuff like that. They're higher end because they're name brand.
Right.
You guys, everybody should have a can of this on their truck. right? Some kind of electrical cleaner. It's basically brake cleaner, but it doesn't have the stuff that hurts the O-rings and the plastics.
Right.
Well,
It's made
I
to
have a
not
question.
harm it, dry it out.
If you blow a fuse, should you use something like that or just drive all the way back? If you blow like a fuse,
I would drive all the way back. I
drive
mean,
all
if it was me personally, I would just call a mechanic where I'm at and have them come check it. But, I mean, you could just deadhead 600 miles back to your house.
back to Kentucky. All right.
Yeah, back to Kentucky.
And Charlie, you should know where all your fuses are, right?
Shut up.
Hey, you should have a bag of fuses in your truck. Hey, the other day I had a guy blow a fuse. So newer Kenworths and Peterbilts, I don't know, custom Western Stars and Freightliners might have this too. But on the firewall, and I say new, like 2015, 2017 and newer, on the firewall under the hood, right, they have a trailer, right, because Kenworths and Peterbilts have a button for the trailer lights, and so they have a trailer fuse, and you hook up a wet, a pigtail, which you guys don't do that as much, right, but like our yards and stuff, right, they leave them on the deck, and it rains overnight, and they plug in a trailer first thing in the morning, and they'll have lights, but they won't have brake lights, and it will affect the truck brake lights, and it's just a trailer fuse, right? Which you should have with you. It should be a 30 amp fuse that you should have in a little baggie in your door pocket or somewhere. I don't know.
So Jeff was alluding to my extra ECM fuse. Nobody knew should be there. It was literally a second inline fuse for the ECM.
That's funny.
That cost me $750 in towing.
It was a mega fuse? It was like one of the big ones?
No.
No?
It was a 25-cent fuse.
Oh, my God.
But I had to get towed out of the gate because I was blocking the gate.
Oh, God.
Not right now.
That's terrible. That's a rookie move.
DJ's post there. I like that one. That's another good option. Calling road service for a bent mud flap.
Yeah.
Yep. That's fair. I feel like there's some poke.
Yeah, there's some underlining stuff going on here.
I enjoy it.
Now I lost my train of thought because I was actually trying to be somewhat serious. Not really.
A fuse back to Kentucky. That's what I heard. That's a poke thing, isn't it?
Sprays. What do you got?
It is a poke thing. So's the mud flap thing.
Right. Yeah, that sounds about right.
He literally bought a truck, and the mud flaps. It was the ones that can kick out, right? Not the steel, like the rebar ones. The ones that you can flip around. One of them flipped around when he was hooking to a trailer. It was 23 or 24 year vet, right? Hooked to a trailer somehow, got the mud flap flying straight, and instead of getting out of the truck and trying to flip it back, he was on a live stream and said, I'm going to go to Love's and have him fix it. And they said, well, we ain't got a mud flap, but we can cut it off for you. And they charged him $300 to cut it off.
Wow.
Now, the mechanics should have known, right? Like with enough bars and hammers and stuff and heave-ho, you could have just probably flipped it.
Right.
Maybe the spring was bent or something and they couldn't get it to flip back down, maybe, possibly. Oh. You also could have just cut the mud flap part off, right? So it just looked like a bar that was facing the wrong way. Just to get home, right, with a knife. I mean, anything but $300 for the cut because he had to buy a new mud flap bracket and mud flap at that point, right? But whatever, who knows?
It just goes into all that, do the easy stuff yourself. I mean, why wouldn't you?
Yep.
You crazy people. Look, I get it. Trucker Tim will tell you he is not a wrench turner.
Yeah. How else prepare for the summer heat though in trucks? What happens when trucks get too hot? Do we have sensor issues? The sensors go bad and shit?
We have everything in the summer. It's summertime, baby. I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of your guys are really into shit, right? Shit you should be doing right now is if you got a diesel bunk heater and you're that deep into it, right? You should be pulling the pipe out of your fuel tank and running it on a hot cycle with kerosene to clean it out because you've been running dirty diesel, diesel through it, which is terrible for those glow plugs or for the igniter or whatever you want to call it, the firebox. Right. Run it for a day. I mean, or whatever. It don't have to be a day. 3 or 4 hours at your house and let it cycle out. That way you're ready to go in October, right, or September. I don't know. You pretty much, if you're worried at all and you're into that, right, you can drain your tanks a little bit. You don't have to get crazy, right? Even if you have 100 gallons in a fuel tank, if you pop the plug out of the bottom, right, you can plug it with your thumb, so you won't lose 100 gallons immediately.
Right.
You can drain off what little bits in there if you think you got an algae, just to prep. We do that with our trucks a lot. Drain the bottom, what we consider an inch off the bottom, just
Will
because.
they get that garbage off the bottom of the tank too?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like you're just
yeah.
cleaning a tank, right? Like just trying to get off some of, because obviously we all know in the wintertime there's more shit on the nozzles, there's more
Right.
crap on the tanks themselves, right? Salt and stuff. So you just drain a little bit, try to agitate it and drain. I mean, even if you drain out 5 gallons, usually a 5-gallon bucket will fit under most. Well, I guess with fairings not, but most trucks without fairings, it will almost fit.
Right.
Pretty close to perfect on them, and so you can let that settle out, right, and put it back in and strain out, and just strain out what little bit falls to the bottom of the bucket.
Yeah,
right?
no
So
doubt.
wasting any fuel.
Yeah, don't let it just roll out on the floor, people. Good God.
Change your glad hand seals. Right, this is a good time to check your glad hand seals, all that fun shit. If you got a trailer, same thing. I don't know. It's all general stuff, right? I know it's not general. Some people. I saw
we try to make these updates, at least, twice a year. Check your stuff before winter, check your stuff before summer,
I mean,
try to get us in that cycle,
I know we've talked about it, right? But, I mean, me personally, I always try to do air dryers in the fall, right? That before winter, because that's when moisture will freeze.
Right.
But, I mean, this is a good time of year to do it also. I mean, air dryer cartridges are, well, I don't know what they are now, but, usually under $30. So if you do it anytime, this would be a good spring package, right, in the summer to do that.
Mine have been getting done like every 50,000 miles, bro. It's just part of my PM at this point. Yeah, it's overkill. I get it, but whatever.
I mean, obviously some of them, your Freightliner's out on the fender, right, or by the steer tire.
It's very easy to get to.
It's easy to get to. Some of them I know, like Kenworths, they put them under the cab by a cross member. They kind of suck just in general to get to. But if you change them on a regular basis, they're a lot easier to change out. General coolant, coolant filters, people neglect those. Coolant filters is a good time. That's a good time of year to do that. They're cheap. Another cheap thing, right? You don't have to drain your coolant or anything. Usually they have on-off valves, but if they don't, right, just be quick. They're usually pretty easy access, and they're usually little drain filters, right? Look like little baby oil filters. I don't know what else. I mean, a lot of stuff this time of year we're just prepping to shut down for the winter, like the like the burnt heater, the bunk heaters, checking AC systems, right? Running stress tests on an AC system. Cleaning out the heat exchange or the heater core, right? Because you're not going to use your heater core hopefully in the summer, but if it's plugged from winter and you let it go all summer being plugged, then it's going to be a rock. If it's when fall comes, so you're going to be fixing it or buying one. So this is a good time to do that. I don't know. Like I said, some of the new trucks, it's a pain in the ass to do that. Peterbilt's, right? All that shit's in the dash, so it sucks. A Freightliner might be the same way. Kenworths at least have it where you can pull them out from the firewall, so it's you take 2 hoses off and you can pull them right out, right?
Right.
There might be a bolt that holds them, but so you can slide them out, wash them out. I mean, you will use your heater core, right? If it's a muggy, rainy summer, right, for your defroster, so it's not like you won't be using them,
right?
Blow out your radiators. All that fun shit. If you're that mechanically inclined, is the best thing to do is take your condenser off the front of your engine, right, and blow it out separately because everything gets in between it, especially in the winter, right? In between it and the radiator. So it's possibly a cooling issue for your truck, but it's also a cooling issue for the inside of your cab. And usually those are most all trucks, those are mounted right, behind the grill on the front of the radiator with 4 bolts or 3 bolts. And they usually have hoses long enough because you can flip them over, right, over your hood or whatever, over the radiator and get them down by, the tire or something where you can spray them off with a garden hose. And some cleaner, right? Some light duty coil cleaner. We use I forget what we use, but we use a light duty copper coil cleaner. No radiators are made out of copper anymore, right? I mean, maybe some heater cores are, but we still use a foaming copper cleaner, right? Because that's what we have. Diluted down, right? Like super diluted down, but you can decrease them, right? You can do probably anything to them. If they're for aluminum, make sure it's not something that's that will etch aluminum or aluminum. There you go.
Right.
Check your coolant. Use one of them little fucking deals to find out how hot your coolant gets, just like you find out how cold it gets in the winter, right? Find out what it will go up to, right? Obviously, we know that water shouldn't boil, but you should have no water in your coolant, but you could. So find out what your coolant's rated at to boil at. If it's 200, if it's saying 250 degrees, you might have a problem, right? I mean, it should be 300, 320.
Boiling coolant causes cavitation, pits, holes, scarring, bad juju, yo.
Right. I know you already hit the belts and shit. Like I said, I know a lot of your people that listen to this are pretty mechanical. So, I mean, go source your cheap parts and just put them on there, right? Like, I know it's not free, but, put on fucking belt tensioners that are $60. Just throw them on there.
Right.
I'd be done with them. Why? I mean, even if your belt looks good, put a new tensioner on it. Most of the time, belts are good. The tensioner fries the belts.
Right.
So, and there's really, I'm sure there's something to test them, but there's really no way to test the tensioners that I know of. Detroit's suck to change. They're not like Cummins, but I mean, they're not that bad. Most people can do it. You can do it in under an hour.
I like doing it on Chewy because there was all kinds of room to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Rosie did it in a petrol parking lot one night. That was fun.
Yep.
Wasn't that hard.
Your Cummins guys, which I should know this, but I don't. I think most of the X15s have a stretch belt, right? Like they don't have a tensioner. You just pull the belt, right? You get one of these little fancy tools that you can buy that's like a wedge, or you can do it by hand or a screwdriver, but like where you put it on the pulley and roll it over and it just runs it off. Those are little belts. Change those out, right? If you stretch one of those on a 90-degree day, you're not gonna have AC, right?
That is unacceptable.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody likes to sweat.
And those are cheap. They're cheap and easy to change, right? You can literally do them by hand. No tools needed whatsoever.
Right.
The new ones kind of suck to put on by hand, but you can do it, right? Like you can just keep walking it around. It will stretch, even though it looks like it's about to break the pulley or break the belt. It won't. It will just keep walking it over, right? Bump the engine over if you got to get it on there. I don't know. You hit everything else. Cabin filters. This is a good time to do your cabin filters, right? I know a lot of you all, I don't know, speak, right? But you guys don't run. I'm sure there's plenty of DCs and stuff you guys go to that have dust, right? Just the rocks.
Oh my God, yes.
But I mean, like literally, our yards are dust balls, right? And they're going through job sites that are dirt. So fans are on all day long, and that will destroy that restriction will destroy your AC system quicker than anything. These AC systems now, as most of you all know, are so fucking finicky. They're so finicky. And when they make the trucks do the new fucking refrigerant, which is way down the line, I think they're going to be more finicky. For the cars, anybody that's got new cars that's got that YF1234A, I think, or it's 1234AB or some shit, is that shit literally cools like 50% of what R134A. And for all you old fucks, you remember that your bitch was R12 or 134A cooled about 50% less as R12. Well, now we're on to the new shit that cools 50% less of R134A. And like, again, it's not going to be in your semis. I don't know. I say that. I talked to a guy at Thermo King about APUs, and they were telling me that they were because they have a smaller unit, right? And that the government was trying to force them into swapping their shit over,
right? Which
would be a fucking nightmare because now you'll have two different Freons on your truck,
right?
And I'm sure that I don't know, but I guarantee it's more expensive. I don't know that for a fact, but I would just guarantee it is without.
Right.
So this would be a good time to mention, Narc. So I had Donna listen to your actual show the other day for about a minute. before I had to go in the other room. And she wanted me to compliment you on how much restraint you show on our show.
Oh, well, tell her you're welcome. But it's all a respect thing, right? So I respect you guys. Charlie, at the very beginning, right when I first met Charlie, he tried to come at me, and he knew better. I'm just kidding. That's a joke.
Right.
Charlie.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Look, yeah. Fun fact is, and just for I do that because I enjoy this in of it too, right? I mean, I think I'm sure we've talked about it. The only reason I don't do a maintenance show is because it's boring to me to talk about maintenance all day. And if I thought because of the community I could go out and like record myself throwing a belt on, or just the other day I freaking changed a freaking a goddamn air compressor on a Cummins on an ISX.
Right.
Even new ones, they don't have to be timed, right? So they're super easy. And I mean, there's a million other videos, so you don't have to watch mine. But I was like, it'd be cool to set the camera up and watch me cuss because I smashed my finger, right? And I think
like
I threw
2 seconds.
I don't usually throw wrenches, but I threw a wrench. It's probably the first time in a few months. But I can't, so
Yeah.
This is fun to come on here and do this because it's my breakaway. But
Right. You don't have to stress out yelling at people or people yelling back at you. It's
True.
except for maybe Sage. I mean, because well, and Jenny earlier. So
let's see here. There was something else with the AC. What the fuck was it? You can run a stress test yourself on your AC, right? If you don't know how to do that, it's super easy, right? And most of you probably already do it anyways. Is windows up on your truck, max everything, but don't hit recirculate. Leave recirculate off because obviously when it's not on recirculate, it's having to bring in hot air from outside or warm air and convert it. So it stresses the system more. And do whatever you can to block off, right? If you're home, put a piece of cardboard or something in front of, do something to block the air from coming into your truck because that stresses it all out and see what happens, right? If nothing happens, you're 100% golden. If you notice that it's not flowing, that it warms up even a few degrees, then you know that there's a flow issue because, you're intentionally trying to force it to not work.
Right.
But when everything's optimal, it does just fine. I don't know on the new semis. I've always on our older stuff, if I can keep them at like 50, 56, 58 to 62, blowing out like things, I consider that like a 100% passable system. I would assume newer trucks with better blowers and they probably bigger condensers on them. They probably get down more in the 50s range, right? Like I know some of our APUs will literally blow like 48 degrees.
I haven't looked at so I used to check mine with a reefer thermometer, right? And set it right there in the vent and see what it was blowing, how it was working, right? Back in I haven't done that in a long time. I can't even remember what Chewy used to read. I haven't done that on the 23 or the 26, so I should actually do that.
Another good thing that you can do, just while you're out doing all that is on your AC. Now, this is something obviously you didn't hear me say this, right? But you can't vent your R134A. You're not allowed to do that. That is not something you should be doing. But if it happened that you did do that into a bucket, right, which is the way we don't do it, right? You fill a bucket with halfway with water and take your yellow hose and vent the refrigerant out, which you waste it doing this, by the way, people, but is put in a bucket, right, because that separates the oil and it sort of takes out the ozone that they all cry about. It's not ozone, but whatever.
Right.
Is you need your air dryer. Lots of people neglect their air dryer. Technically, anytime the system's open, you should change your air dryer. Obviously, I just talking my old lady's Jeep we bought it in June of 2021, and we were just talking about that for what I always keep a thermometer in all our vents. I do because I have 40 of them laying around.
Right.
I noticed that last year, I mark what I consider to be blowing really cold, which is like 48 in her Jeep. Is it was blowing like 46. And I was like, I wonder why it's blowing colder. And it's a little cooler out right now. It's not as humid, right? So it's got a couple degrees. But the other day it was super hot and humid, and it was blowing like 62. And I called a guy, and he's like, we've never had to service it or do anything right. And he said, you probably need to change your air dryer. And I was like, well, you know, that's probably true because we've never opened the system, but the air dryer catches all the moisture, right, and all that stuff. So it's probably the desiccant is probably just clogged now because the system works good. I mean, if you're that, you know, you can do all this yourself, right? If you drain your system, make sure you put oil in it. But I mean, if you go somewhere, right, and just tell them to do a charge, a recharge or a discharge and a charge. Most of these places have machines that will recover your refrigerant. So, so they'll put your refrigerant back in. So I mean, that's obviously the expensive part is the refrigerant. Air dryers cost nothing. It just helps maintain a better AC system.
Hold your thought. Yeah, I gotta do my break real quick because I'm like late. Sage, don't go anywhere. I want to talk to you about what you got going on lately, man. Because I haven't seen you in a minute, man.
All right.
We'll be right back, y'all. 50 seconds. You're either running your business like an owner or like an employee, and if you're stuck in that employee mindset, you're leaving money on the table. Company drivers wait for direction. Business owners create opportunities. Company drivers chase miles and just drive. Business owners chase profits and know their numbers. Want to run a real business? Start tracking your numbers. Know your cost per mile and start saying no to bad loads. Drop I run a business in the comments if you're done thinking like an employee. If you want to take this mindset shift further, join the Road Warrior Entrepreneurs community at www.rwedrive.com, where we have profit boosting strategies, coaching calls, and real road warriors winning together.
Hey, real quick before we get into Sage, we were neglecting the comments, Charlie. You were neglecting your audience.
It happens.
I know. There was only, where was it? I just read it. Oh, it's the bottom. Is Tim? Oh yeah, Tim said, unless I'm confused or heard wrong, I heard it's best to use your heater with uncirculated air and your AC with recirculated. Yes. So here's the thing. Your heat, so all recirculation button does, right? Cars, trucks, tractors, doesn't matter, is I wish that old trucks or new equipment was as accessible as old equipment, but old trucks, you could usually see this vent, but it's just a door, right, that opens up to the outside air, right, that lets outside air in versus inside air. So if it's a hot ass day and you're running down the highway, right, if you're blowing, when you're doing 80 in Texas, if you have the recirc off, you're just sucking in 80 degree or 110 degree off the highway air into your freaking engine, your AC system, right? You're just so obviously that's a performance issue. So always try to recirculate it. As far as the heater goes, it's kind of the same thing, but I mean, usually in the summer or in the wintertime, unless it's super duper cold, right, you're trying to get a little fresh air in there. So, and the heat, you always have plenty of heat because your heater core, your heat comes from your engine or your heater core, right? So there's always, your engine's always going to be 200 degrees, right? Obviously, and it doesn't matter if it's -5 out or whatever. I mean, maybe it's a little touch colder, right, if it's like that. But if it's 30 degrees out, your engine's still running 200 degrees. So that air is always coming across it. So it doesn't really matter technically, right? As much, I guess, it's per se. But your best performance on AC, and you can YouTube this, is to not have it max, like not the dial on max cold, to have it up a few notches. And every truck's different, right? Like Kenworths have, 64 and whatever
Right.
it is, and 68 and 72 and so on and so forth, is to have it not all the way on its coldest setting, to have it just bumped up a little bit on recirc, and then the blower speed doesn't really matter, but if you can have the blower not blown on its max speed, because then that cold air is is coming across the evaporator at a
Right.
slower pace. So as it goes through the evaporator in the dash, right, is the cold air is now just getting colder. It's not blowing across it at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Right. It gives a little more time to actually cool.
Yeah, you can watch AC performance videos. I'm sure there's plenty of heavy. I've never watched one on a truck, but there's plenty of ones for cars. I'm sure there's plenty of semi ones out there that would tell you how to do your stress test on them and stuff. One thing I'll tell everybody on here, right, is as easy as it is, don't go buy your little 1 pound container at AutoZone and because your AC is blowing at 68 degrees, right? Because literally all you're doing is putting junk refrigerant, which sounds stupid, but junk refrigerant in there.
Yeah.
And you don't know, most of those don't have any oil in them. So sometimes it's not a Freon problem, it's an actual oil problem with your system. It's not lubricating like the pumps and everything. And so then you're adding more Freon with no oil. Or if it does have PEG oil in it, when you put it in, you don't know how much, they can tell you, right? But they don't know how much oil you're introducing into your system. And then the more oil, the less Freon, the more oil, the heavier everything is.
Right.
And it will sit on your compressor on your low side, and it can cause compression issues, right? Orifice tubes don't like it when there's too much oil. It plugs them up. I don't know if plug's the right word, but it holds the Freon from being able to do its metering as it goes past, right? So,
Right.
Hey, Ida.
Hi, Ida.
Love that lady. So, Sage.
Yeah.
Good to see you. Been a minute.
Oh, start over. I just got here.
Oh,
Okay.
geez.
So, welcome everybody. We're going to be talking about.
Light went out. Battery died. What's going on, brother?
Same old thing, man. What you got going on lately?
Basically, what I'm doing is something that I was actually a little shocked in regards to some stuff. Sorry about my lighting situation here. Oh, there it is, right there. Not like it's much. So I moved. Well, I'm still doing a lot of stuff. So I'm still well, my wife's brokering some freight. But I'm doing a kind of like fleet insurance. So here's what I got going on, because I see this as a potential problem in the future when it comes to carriers. So right now with freight brokers and the media and everything that's going on, safety and compliance is becoming a monstrous aspect, right? So freight brokers are now looking at your safety scores.
Yep.
They're looking at all that type of stuff to see if they're going to go ahead and use you, right? Because if we don't, the freight brokers are like, hey, we want you guys to be responsible for who you pick and everything else. Well, okay, knee-jerk reaction. Now we're looking at your safety scores and all kinds of stuff like that. If you're in the red, you have two scores. You have an ISS score, and then you have an out-of-service score, okay?
Right.
Your ISS score is based on how many violations you get. Your out-of-service scores is based on out-of-service. So what I'm basically doing now is I'm intertwining compliance and insurance. So my goal is, I'm working with fleets now, is if you have, a fleet is more than 10 trucks. So if you have 10 trucks and you have bad safety scores and bad compliance, the first thing I'm going to do is look at your safety and compliance. I'm going to look at your data queues, all this boring stuff.
Right.
Anyways, but I'm going to basically look at all that. My goal is to get your safety score down so that I can try to get you the best insurance price possible, so that you can grow your company and I can grow with you. But what I'm seeing is that you will not believe the price difference in insurance that I can get for some guys, because one, I talk directly to underwriters. Like I'm talking to the underwriter. I'm selling you to the underwriter.
Right.
So one, we're working on your safety scores. Two, we're putting together letters and things like that to say that, hey, they've got a safety and compliance person. They're working on getting these scores down. We're working with them with their ELDs to get better stuff like that. And you will not believe the price difference for these carriers. And we've kind of saw that. Like a lot of carriers that start to grow, they get up to 5 trucks. They don't really care about safety and compliance. And then once they start to care about the safety and the compliance and proper driver, hiring drivers the proper way, getting MVRs, getting PSPs, and all this other stuff, underwriters notice that. And then you start to get the better insurance. Like, they ask these questions, and you want answers. And if you don't have answers, they start to put you at a higher risk.
And if you're at like 2, 3, 4, 5 trucks, you should be thinking about this stuff anyhow.
Yeah. If you're starting to get 2 or 3
get
trucks,
ahead of the game,
100%. Because, and that's what I try to explain to these carriers is the people that you bring on could ruin your company, and they could ruin your income, and they can basically make it where you are no longer profitable because of the people and the things that they've done, either MVR wise or what we call PSPs, which is basically going through a scale house and get a bunch of violations. It's bad. And it like I said, I know that a lot of carriers were out there saying, hey, I can't survive with these high insurance prices. I can't survive. Well, the problem is that whoever is working with you as an insurance agent, even if you have 5 trucks, I'll work with you. I try to work with fleets. Like a couple of my carriers that I use for my freight, one has 7 trucks and one has 5 trucks. I'm not going to turn those guys away. I'm just not going to work with like one guy, right? But what I'm noticing is, like I said, once I start to sell you to the underwriters, once I can start to say, hey, this guy is a safety guy, this guy's following compliance, this guy's hiring and getting MVRs and PSP, they've noticed problems that they have without a service. They're doing safety meetings, monthly now to try to focus on that, to get this down. Once you start to put together letters like that to underwriters, you get better insurance rates, unless you're just out of control. But it really does. Better rate doesn't mean anything at your cost per mile eats you. Yes, a better insurance rate would 100% be beneficial for your cost per mile. Does that person not know how to do cost per mile?
No, he was actually talking about speed just a minute ago.
I'm sorry, I might have missed that.
We got 9.7 going on. It's great.
If not, you have to schedule a consulting call with one of the guys over here if that's the problem. So we have to do that if we don't understand cost per mile. But yeah, so like I said, and I'll tell you what, man, I try to be an honest guy in a world of liars. I might be a jerk sometimes, which I can be, but I'm not. But I'm finding out that insurance is just as bad. Insurance is. So here's one of the tricks they do in insurance, and don't tell anybody because they'll kick me off the softball team. So basically what happens is if you're going to an insurance guy, you should be going to someone that you 100% trust. You should be interviewing me. That you should be basically saying, should I hire this guy to run one of the most important departments of my company, which is compliance and insurance? You should be doing that. If the person you're hiring, if you're solely going on price, you're doing it wrong. If you should need to be going knowledge. So what happens is if you come to me, or let's say you went to somebody else, well, that other person might not be as knowledgeable as me or as good as me, but they submit your information to different markets, and then you come to me, I'm now locked out. I can't go to those markets. So now they hold those markets hostage unless you give me what's called a BOR, a broker of record. But they'll hold those hostage, now kind of forcing you. Oh, please tell me this is my problem. No. Audio's choppy. We'll go to the link then. They'll now force you to kind of go to their markets and hold them because I can't go to those markets. But even though if I would have went to those markets and presented different information, like I have you type up a letter, what you're kind of what's your plan for the year? Are you planning on adding any trucks? Are you planning on stabilizing? Are you going to be working on safety and compliance and stuff like that, and ELD monitoring? And I can probably get a better rate. But if the other agent's not doing that, I'm locked out. Out. Hang on. Let me do this real quick. I'm going to send this in my chat over here on Discord. So that's kind of what I've been focusing on, and what I've been doing is, let me do this. Is that with insurance? And we've reached some people. Like I said, I've got to a couple of my carriers and walked through that and stuff like that. I'm going to leave Discord then. And it's interesting though. So I think that's a big factor that drivers don't understand the importance of not only learning what you guys have got going on in regards to fuel and, stuff like that, but learning that, hey, if you're going to want to grow your company, you need to learn the compliance aspect. You need to learn data queues. You need to learn PSPs. I know it's all boring stuff, but it's not boring when it saves you, when you're paying, let's say $20,000 a truck, and we can get you down to $15,000 a truck. But that's what they don't want to do. It's like NARC doing maintenance. Right, Mark? Nobody wants to do the pre-maintenance stuff. Nope. They just do when it's broke.
Yep.
Right.
But it would have been
Not me. I don't want to wait till it's broke.
it would have saved them so much money. Even like Mark says, it would save them so much money if they did the maintenance, pre-maintenance type stuff, but they don't do it.
Yep.
Same thing with safety. It'd save you so much money if you go to somebody that can try to sell you to an underwriter and give you a better opportunity. Oh, what do you message me for? Tell Justin to go to the damn link.
Yeah.
Yeah, Justin, stupid idiot.
Hey, Justin.
Hey, by the way, speaking of doing and Sage cut me off, but somebody in here, who was it? Who was it? Because I said good job. Oh, it was Mark. No, was it Mark? No, it was Matthew. I don't know if Matthew's still in here. Matthew said he got his 3-axle alignment today or something. Good job, Matthew.
Yeah.
Way to be on top of shit, buddy.
I will be burning so
Proud
many
of you. Tires are expensive, people. You guys are
real.
Tires are expensive. And you know what else is expensive? Getting a ticket because you're having a tire issue in a scale house. So,
right.
No, it's kind of.
And remember,
yeah,
rubber prices go along with the oil market.
They do.
Facts.
They do. And obviously, because of we can't make America great again until we get rid of somebody. But you know, because of the situation there got going on, I don't see any near future, and I cover that. I don't see a big future, or in regards to cheaper oil right now.
Right.
Just letting everybody know, I just don't. And I don't know if I don't want to dive down that. I don't want to get.
Did you hear the UAE is leaving OPEC?
Yeah, that was kind of coming. That was they've kind of pushed towards that a few times that they wanted to do that. They wanted to do that. That's not a good thing, to be honest, for us, because what they do now, like at least OPEC would control. Like if there was too much oil in the market, they would produce more oil. If there was not enough, if there was too much, they'd stop, and if there wasn't enough. But now OPEC, the UAE can basically say, screw your rules. We can pump as much oil as we want or not pump at all. And now that's kind of, it's good and bad. It's good and bad, basically, then, to be honest.
So tell me why you think it's bad.
So basically, though, although OPEC is kind of the mafia of the oil market, basically, they did monitor the oil market for stability. They did want to stabilize the oil market, okay? So when you're part of OPEC, they would have monthly meetings, I think, or quarterly meetings where they would get together and they'd say, hey, there's this much oil in the market. The price of oil is this. We're going to not pump oil, or we're going to pump the same amount of oil, or we're going to pump more, all depending on the market to try to keep that together.
Yeah, they don't want it too low. They don't want it too high.
Yeah. So what happens is a lot of these other countries would lie and say that they didn't pump this much when they really did, and then it would go out there. But at least it was monitored by OPEC, and we could negotiate with OPEC on behalf of that. Well, UAE breaking off can basically say, "Screw OPEC, you do what you want to do. We're going to do what we want to do." Right. So then you lose a little bit of stability in the oil markets, because now this country can start to do something that this country might disagree with, and you start to lose that stability. And what we don't want is instability in oil markets, because that causes issue.
But in turn, doesn't that start to create a more free market?
No, because oil's still traded as a global commodity, no matter how you look at it. And so it's basically, do we have too much oil? Do we not have enough oil? It doesn't matter kind of where that's coming from, to be honest. So it's not, oil is just basically sold on that commodity market price. That's why when people
but who decides that? And that's where that's where the Emirates have an issue. They're tired of being told what to do.
Right, but
they want a pure free market, which I'm in favor of.
Correct. That's what they want. But the issue is, in regards to that, they can then stop producing oil and drive up the price of oil. Like that's what in the when Trump negotiated the deal in 2018, when we had the largest oil crash out there, basically Trump went to OPEC and said, pump oil, and I will sanction Iran, where they can't sell their oil. So they basically said, OPEC said, all right, let's pump. And then they pumped oil, but Trump never sanctioned Iran. And oil basically went negative. It went down to almost, I can't remember the date, but it went negative. That drove a lot of U.S. people out of business. That drove a lot of U.S. bankruptcies in our oil rigs. Right. And then after that followed higher gas prices. When Trump left office, we started to see the result of that, those oil prices. So it doesn't really commit. It doesn't truly. you're not really going to have competition as long as you can get it out to the open market. Like Canada oils, we buy Canada oil cheap on the cheap because they're what's called a captured market.
Right.
Which means that they can't. It's very difficult for them to get their oil out to the open market. So in regards to that,
that is that dirty clumpy crap.
Yeah, they have a very heavy oil, but heavy oil is good because you can make a lot of stuff from it, right? Because you can process it down pretty fine.
Right.
But that's why one of the reasons we didn't want the XL pipeline is because if you were to do the XL pipeline, that would allow Canada to take their oil from a captured market where we can kind of force the price down on them and sell it to the open market where they could sell it for a higher price.
Right.
But so that's one of the reasons that we did not do the XL pipe, the second, the pipeline 2 or whatever it's called. But anyways, so like I said, it can go either way. So the problem is if they get pissed off at us, they can stop pumping, and next thing you know, our gas prices skyrocket and stuff like that. Problem because they're just not a part of that. So you're never really going to get an open market with oil, because oil is both traded as a physical oil and as a futures.
What if all of those oil producing countries do that though and say, screw it, we're out of OPEC?
It's a possibility that they could do that. I don't see it happening because they can't control that, but it is a possibility. I don't think that would be the best thing for us because they could sell their oil a hell of a lot cheaper and drive us right out of the market.
Right.
We wouldn't be able to, our rigs right now are about $70 a barrel before they turn profit, $60 to $70 a barrel because of inflation, because of tariffs on the price of steel, and steel is used for casings, and casing is the pipe that comes up to move the oil.
Right. No, and I don't pretend to know tons about the oil market at all. You know what I mean? I'm so not informed because whatever. Right.
Yeah.
It's just not one of my things. So that's why I ask questions to people who I believe have more knowledge in the topic, of course. But I do know that there's kind of a sweet spot that they're always trying to keep the oil prices above the bottom mark and below the top mark, because if it goes too high, it all goes to hell. If it goes too low, it's not profitable.
Yeah,
people stop producing. They can't produce things.
Too high and people stop spending money because things become too expensive because that oil is everything. Too low and they're not making money. So there's that trade-off in regards to profitability versus too expensive, where like gas right now, you're buying less gas because it's over $4 a barrel.
Right.
$4 a gallon. $4 is like a magical number that at $3.99 people are like, okay. $4 people are like, oh my God, gas is $4.
Right.
Yeah, but I remember when that number was $1.99, and I remember when it was $2.99. Heck, I remember when it was 99 cents. That was
me too. I remember when it was 99 cents, 100%. I do also.
I used to be able to get a pack of cigarettes and a gallon of gas at the same price. I'm just saying.
Right. Absolutely.
I mean, I remember when the first time it got above $1 a gallon, I was young and married.
Yeah.
And Donna and I were just like, what are we going to do now?
Yeah. And we understand. And inflationary aspects of pay, and that's all inflationary aspects of. It's not just the price of oil; it's everything to move the oil, to get it out of the ground. Right. The price of steel for the pipes that go into the ground, the price of steel for the tanks, all goes up.
And I think that's one of the things that people don't consider. Number one, the cost of production.
Yes.
Real quick. And number two, the gasoline for your car is not the only thing that oil produces.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, oil produces a ton. And I put out there on my thing that the breakdown, that's why thicker oil is cheaper. And that's why U.S. refineries normally refine heavier oil rather than sweet oil. We have a lot of sweet oil in the United States.
Right.
Because we can refine, when a refinery buys oil, because a refinery buys that oil and then says, what can I turn this into to be profitable? Well, they're going to buy a thicker oil because one, it's cheaper, there's more of it. And two, they can make more stuff from it. So they can refine it all the way down from, making plastics and lubricants down to gasoline to diesel. There's more they can refine. So the refinery is buying that oil and then selling it as a refined product, whatever that refined product is at that point. Sweet oil, which we get a lot of that is used for like jet fuel and gasoline because it can be refined, but it's unless you thicken it, which you can. It's not going to refine as much as a heavy oil would.
Okay.
And now
Yeah,
that's everybody.
so-
And I've been moving oil field tanks, and I'm not, like I said, I do a lot of research on this, but one of my main customers, which I'm dealing with right now, which is being a pain in the ass, is a huge oil company, like a huge global oil company that I work with, and I move oil tanks and fiberglass tanks and steel tanks.
Right.
I'm doing that for 18 years. So that's kind of what I do.
So do you know why? So we have the regular diesel market right out, the Flying J, the Loves, everybody, right? The regular pump prices, but then we have the discount market. When you're using your special discount fuel cards and all that, we have seen, and there's apparently a direct connection between the heating oil market and that discount market. When heating oil goes up, 10 cents, the discount fuel market goes up 10 cents, usually about 24 to 48 hours later. You can watch it, and it's almost dead on the comparison or the change.
I'd like to research that, actually, because I did not know that.
Yeah, and we got turned on to that a couple years ago, and I was like, that sounds crazy.
Well, we were trying to figure out what the discount market, where it comes from.
Right.
And we got turned on to the heating oil market. We saw a direct correlation there. And to this day, we haven't found anybody that's able to actually explain that.
Yeah, I'm actually going to dig into that and find out where that discount market comes from and what that's connected to. That's actually a good idea.
It was funny. You could pull up EFS's, whichever card you're on EFS, or the NASTIC card and things like that. And if you watch the heating oil price today, right, NASTIC's, let's say it went up 20 cents today. NASTIC's expected rise for 48 hours from now or 24 hours from now would be that number.
Yeah.
And EFS was the same way. You could see the change based on the heating oil price. And I don't understand what the difference between heating oil and anything else is, honest to God. Whatever,
I believe the taxes in it, because a lot of the taxes that are being used for driven are road taxes and stuff. So I think heating oil doesn't have the same taxes you would have for road oil, road diesel, to be honest.
So I think that the heating oil market somehow is feeding the diesel market on the non-consumer side.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're getting it at those lower prices for the wholesale prices, whereas then the retail sites are putting it out based off of the actual real world oil prices, right? And I think it's they're like, well, oil prices are up, so we're going to charge more.
Yeah.
Right. With gas, it seems to make more sense to me. With diesel, I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into that though. I know a couple people that have cards that I'm gonna reach out to. See if
I looked at a bunch of historical numbers from when we start that fuel card, Jeff, 2-3 years ago, back then, and that's when I can't remember who pointed it out to me. They're like, if you look at the diesel or the heating oil prices, you'll know what the discount market's going to do within 48 hours. Mm-hmm. And it was almost, identical within, a penny or two usually. So if it goes up, it goes down. If it stays flat, bam, you could see the EFS or NASTIC, whatever, the same price. Yeah. The same change, rather.
I know who it wasn't. It wasn't Alexia.
Oh, my God. Oh, man.
And I said that for my custom Western Star, so.
There you go.
Both in.
God, sometimes, some people. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing with insurance.
I dig it.
Worried about not the oil that comes out of the strait, is everything else that comes out of the strait. Everything from fertilizer to helium. Helium makes, you use helium to make semiconductors. That's an important one. That comes out of there. We get a lot of DEF there. We all know what DEF does. It's both a fertilizer, and it also fertilizes our trucks in some way.
Right.
And apparently kills trees.
And then also
it hurts the bees.
It hurts the bees, and don't drink it. I guess well, depending on who you are, don't drink it.
Can we recommend that some people drink it?
We can. I can name a few.
We're gonna say that.
Caslin. I had to go to my basement last night, Caslin, at fucking 11 o'clock at night for a fucking tornado.
Really?
Yeah. It wasn't. and we don't, we just say fuck it, right? Like, but the Ryan Hall, y'all, and our everything was going crazy in our house. So we went to
Oh, wow.
that's the first time in how many ever 10 or 11 years. All the shit. We had a tree fall last year, like almost hit the house, and right, we didn't go to the basement for that one, but we did last night.
Brother,
I was at the Iowa 80 of all places last week, and right in the middle of my sleep cycle.
Hey, Sage, thanks for popping in. Hey, if anybody wants to check out Sage, check out his YouTube channel. You can go to youtube.com/@SageOutcast.
Yeah. Yeah, we talk about oil a lot. We don't. He does on his channel. Tuesdays, Thursdays.
Thursday.
Yeah.
And then if
Thanks,
I have
buddy.
a,
Appreciate
unless I
you
have a
popping in.
random wild post, like
sometimes randoms. Hit that bell.
Appreciate you, brother. Let's see.
Thanks, Sage.
Look at that head.
I know. You know what? So, I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe you're talking about Sage, but as I had to fucking I got called out at the end of the day. I had a hair appointment today. I'm going Vanilla Ice style, just so everybody's aware. I'm doing the fucking lines and the fucking small mohawk. You guys are gonna love it. Everybody's gonna love it. That's what we're doing this year. That's my mid. I bought a zero turn, a John Deere zero turn, and I'm getting my hair done like in the 90s.
You're way
like,
too fancy with the John Deere Zero, bro.
This summer. That's
Nice.
what we're doing, boys.
Oh yeah, Tim. I was at the Iowa 80 the other night, right in the middle of my sleep. I was out, and I get that frickin' filter now. And you know what I did? I turned it off and I went back to sleep.
Exactly.
Look, you're at the Iowa 80. Where are you going to go?
Right.
It's a mile and a half to the building, so you know.
Yeah, and all those windows, I feel like it's just going to get wiped out anyhow if it hits there.
Yeah, I bet that's fucking wild. We were on, for anybody who knows who Zello is or what Zello is, right? But we were on Zello a couple of years ago, and I forget who it was. Somebody was out, I don't know, Iowa or somewhere, and they literally came out and they were at a small truck stop, right? That maybe I'm gonna say it had like 10 spaces, right? And it was just right behind, the fuel island or the building, and the employees were come out and getting the guys while they were on, like one of the guys was on the app saying, "Hey, you guys need to come in," right? And there's like a black cloud coming, and they all went to the basement of this gas station. There's like 14 or 15 people in there for like an hour. It was like they came around, but it was a small truck stop, right? Like a mom and pop. But they came out and got all the truck drivers, like alerted them and said, "Hey, you need to get out of your truck and come in here with us."
I had an exactly opposite to that one day. Rosie and I were up in just south of Columbus at a customer picking up freight, and we were sitting there, we're bobtail. We got it, we drop it empty, wait for them to get the loaded one done, go hook to that one, and get the hell out of there, right? And big shipper, and there was, I don't know, 15, 20 of us bobtails sitting out there just waiting, right? And then the sirens start going off, and I'm like, whoa, that's cool. And I'm watching Max Velocity because that was my dude. And he's like, "Hey, if you're here, you're probably a bad place." And we try to walk in a building, bro. They locked everything up. They locked their gates. They abandoned all of us. And the people that were there were like, "Hey, we can't talk to you right now. We have to go down into the shelter." And left all the drivers. They're like, "You guys can stay here in this caged waiting area if you'd like, but we're going down to the shelter."
That's fucked up, isn't it?
Dude, I went outside and just stared at the sky. I was like, screw it, man. I'm going to fist fight a tornado.
Florida man.
That's wild. I mean, I guess I get it, right? Kind of, sort of, but...
Look, I can tell you that they caught hell after that from all the carriers that were there.
Yeah. You remember when you're...
During that, they came back out. They're like, "Oh, my God. Hey, if you guys want to come down." We're like, "Bro, it's already over."
You remember when your favorite YouTuber gave Loves in Lubbock, Texas, hell for them not doing the same thing? They wouldn't let him in the building. They had to, they all, his little pudgy ass waddled his ass to go in because he was nervous about the storm coming. And they locked the door and said, "No, go back to your truck."
Yeah. But you know what?
That
Honestly,
part's not funny, right? Like I guess
in a
that's,
building like that, I'm telling you, I feel safer in the truck with my seatbelt on.
yeah, I
Happen,
could
you know what I
see.
mean?
Plus, you got a bunch of crazies, right? Like, I mean, you know, you don't know what some people, right? Just because they're on the road, well, that doesn't mean they're on the road with you, but like, you never
Right.
know. People get wild when shit like that happens.
Yeah.
There was when was it? Couple years ago, is me and my old lady's kid were at a little, you know, he's into Pokemon cards and stuff. We were at like a little card shop, looking. There was the weirdo nerd guy. I shouldn't call him that, right? That behind the counter owned the shop or whatever, and like another dad and a son, and the dad and the son, like the alarms went off, and like I was looking at the weather, and it was just like a little small line, right? Probably wasn't even
Right.
1,000 feet, right? Like it was just a blip. It was going to pass with some heavy winding, which is normally what happens around here. We don't ever get anything like super serious. It just comes and goes real quick.
Right.
And that dad was having like a meltdown, and he was like, he had like the look in his eye, like he was ready to like start tearing people limb from limb. Like his brain was psychotic. Like,
Wow.
this is why you don't go in public with stuff like this happens, right? You
Just
don't know
saying.
what people are going to do, right?
People are crazy. I had to
Yeah.
shoot somebody in the middle of a tornado because he went nuts.
Yeah, that was my thought. I was like,
Right.
oh my god, this guy's gonna rip out a knife and like just start like mutilating people because
Right.
he had like that wild eye and I look in his eye like he didn't know what to do, but he was gonna be the last survivor.
Like those eyes you hide behind them glasses. I get you. I know what you're saying.
That's right. That's why we hide them. That's why we keep them on.
When you start talking about people like GW and Poe,
Mhm.
you know, I'm just saying, whatever, crazy eyes. What? But yeah, so look, I hope you guys have gotten something out of this little pre-maintenance or maintenance discussion, because I really, you know, just to bring it back to reality,
Yep.
I really think these things are important. You know, a lot of people are just like, whatever, it's not my problem, whatever.
Hey, speaking to that, I don't want to interrupt Sage,
No, go
but
for it.
Mark said something earlier about he put where. Let me find it here. Where was it? Hey, did you guys know if you have a bad brake protection valve on your trailer, 2 ounces of Hot Shot Diesel Extreme in your trailer airline, the red one? Good job, Mark. I'm not laughing about that, but lots of people don't understand how your brake, like what the red and blue
Right.
do. Neither here nor there. Is it will clean the gunk out. That's a very good point because it's spring, right? This is stuff
Right.
that you just can pick a time of year, right? Everybody's fall and winter on stuff, but you know, is if you run any kind of quick knows this, right? Any kind of, you don't have to go buy freaking air dryer. Airline antifreeze, right?
Right.
And people will tell you, oh, just go get 90% isopropic alcohol from CVS, right? A gallon for $1.50. I'm a never, you know, that stuff doesn't have O-ring lube and stuff in there that you know, and will it brittle up your airlines and O-rings the first time you use it? One time, probably not. But everything's plastic nowadays. Like protection valves, the quick release valves, it's all plastic, right? They're all plastic pistons with plastic or neoprene O-rings, blah, blah, blah. So why take the risk? But you can clean your
that
tank
alcohol is just going to
stuff
dry it all out.
yeah, running that shit through, right? Something you can find some kind of cleaner. The problem with cleaners is it sticks in the tanks and stuff, right? Like you can't ever, because you can't take a hose and wash it out. So you want something like alcohol, but like you said, to spray all that out, that's changing your air dryer cartridge. That's what that helps more than just the moisture is like your purge valve, right? I mean, I'm sure most of you have had older trucks where the purge valve's hung open. That's 100%. Well, no, 100%. That's 90% because there's just gunk in there, right? Like it's not because the spring broke. It's not because the little piston got hung up somehow. It's because there's some kind of funk in there that hung up, you know, the purge valve. And, you know, some of them you can take apart and clean, but if you run fluids through there, some kind of fluids through there, and run your air system up and down, and, you know, if you're one of these guys that can put an air hose on an air tank and run a constant pressure from your shop while you're doing it, you know, more power to you. Clean all that shit out.
Right.
I mean, winter, we all know you guys are on the road more than I am, right? All this shit they use on the roads now is worse than salt. I mean, salt's bad enough, but this calcium, right? This liquid shit, all this is that because it's obviously finer, right? It's finer. You see the mist on your trucks, right? On your windshields that you can't get off. So, you know, we all know what happens with finer mist and where it goes. It goes everywhere that salt doesn't,
Here's
right?
a question for you, Narc.
Do what?
What is the brake protection valve? Never heard of it. What does it do?
Oh, God, you're going to ask me. I'm not going to be able to answer that.
Brake protection valve.
Well, when Mark said brake protection valve, I would consider the quick release valve on the trailer. And if you follow your red line, or really doesn't matter because they both kind of go the same place, to your air tank on your trailer, coming into, well, technically not coming into the tank, but coming out before you go to your brakes, there will be a quick release valve for your airbags, which will be different, but look kind of the same. As there's a valve right there. That's what you hear when you pop your brakes, right? The brake protection valve, I would consider the valve that doesn't allow anything to happen before or after a certain air pressure.
Right.
And all that stuff, again, is some people will call them four-way valves. If you look on your catwalk of your truck, right, is by like under the fifth wheel, by the axles or in between them, you'll see like a square kind of roundish valve. They're all the same for Volvo and everything. That's just a plastic piston in there, right, with 4 chambers or 2 chambers with the air lines coming out of it, right? And that's just obviously a right amount of air pressure pushes those down and sends air to those. And all that stuff used to be, you know, those aluminum blocks with an aluminum piston with an O-ring. Now it's polymer pistons with neoprene. I mean, quick nose, right? With maybe some are even plastic valves now, right? Like everything's plastic. So
and there's moisture in the lines that'll actually crack in the wintertime.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the moisture will freeze.
Yep. I mean,
expansion is not your friend. Just saying. Just like when your butt gets too big, it's not your. Never mind.
You guys are terrible.
Good to see you, Quick. You got in right at the end here, buddy. Good timing.
Yeah, I know. I've been getting a service today. I got to get alignment tomorrow. New steer tires tomorrow.
Nice.
And I'm ordering
right there. That's a company guy too, by the way. People doing that right there, right?
Ordering a new 1,000,000-mile truck too tomorrow.
Nice.
So
what color?
Some slate color, or it's gonna be a Peterbilt. Slate, like a slate gray. It's kind of cool.
Okay.
Or legendary red. One of the two.
Is that
legendary red's the color in the Vantage truck, Narc?
Yeah, the maroon, like a speckled maroon.
So,
like a wand. I mean,
is that the one that looks like bright in the light and then dark in no light?
It's a pretty bright red, but it's a lot of metallic.
Yeah, it's
a lot.
Yeah. Metallic you're probably right. Is in the right light, it's super red, but off in the distance, right, it kind of has like more of a deep.
Yeah.
And red. The slate's cool too because it's like darks, but like between like a silver in my truck, so it's like a darker silver. I don't know. There was a Kenworth that came in that color, so it's gonna be a pack car color. So we'll see. Kind of excited about it. They just told me that today. So, but I might have to move twice. Move into a red Peterbilt, then move again. So we'll see what happens. It matters if someone wants this truck or not. If someone wants to do a lease purchase, I mean, even this truck will probably go through Swift too.
Yeah.
One driver, one truck. I know all the history, and all the aftermarket shit will stay.
Yeah, which is all the chrome, by the way. Well, and
the whole interior, all the V-truck accessories.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, all the V-truck accessories, but it does have a legacy, and that's probably going to come out. You're going to have to pay for that.
Hey, Tim. Tim said he was wondering because he had a trailer that he set the brakes in. He couldn't fly tandems because it kept rolling. I'll be honest, Tim, the thing probably just needed a brake adjustment really bad.
Yeah.
But it very well could be that too, right? It could be that valve because again, it allows air to whisk by so it doesn't ever like set them hard like a rock.
Check this out. We all do dropping hooks. When you guys hook up to a trailer, release all your brakes, do a few hard brake adjustments. You'll hear the slack adjusters adjust the brakes. On the trailer, you hear some clicking. Do that about 3 or 4 times. Move forward, hit the brake, see if the trailer grabs a little bit more, and then try to slide the tandems. You got to do a full brake application, and it'll adjust the slack adjusters, which will adjust the brakes on the trailer for you. Try that.
Yeah, because that's 100%. Because a lot of times on the trailer end, right, is people. I mean, which is a good thing, I guess, but they don't ever brake hard enough, right? And the trailers get, they don't. No one ever does, pump downs or anything like they used to. Because that's why slack adjusters. Well, it's not why, but I mean that's why how they used to seem like they worked a little better, because it used to be people pump down, did pump downs every night, right? Like hard presses on the, exactly what he said, 3 or 4, or more, right, to get your air out of your system. And it does that shit no more. So it is what it is. There's no the reverse saying that's for drum brakes. I've heard a bunch of people say that. Someone recently, I had a guy call me about can I back the trailer up and hit the brake? And I was like, no, you're talking about a 1980s fucking Chevy pickup, buddy.
Right.
Not hating on you, right? But you're
on that note, we're going to get the hell out of here. I appreciate you, Narc. Quick, you too.
Yep. Hey, if you guys want to see some cool, if you guys want to see some cool drag racing videos and blowing head gaskets, check out my channel.
Oh, yeah?
Type
it.
Yeah. I'll put it on the
screen. Put it on the screen. Check it out. We were at the dyno and blew a head gasket. It was pretty insane. It's pretty insane.
I don't have your
It's
link,
fixed.
Hold on, I'll find it before we get out of here. I got too much.
Y'all subscribe. I need some more subscribers.
There you go. Shit. There's some cool cars in that freaking. Well, his car, their car's cool, but the other cars, the fucking the Dart and all that shit, they race in their series. They got some cool.
Oh,
shit.
that blown Duster's a bad bitch. I'm gonna tell you that right now. But we beat it. Yeah, we treated the shit out of him and drove out of his life. Catch up. Oh, you couldn't do it. Sorry, you lost. Give my money. Yeah. Small tire, baby.
Like this.
Look at that. Trucker Tim learned something tonight. That's good. I'm glad you learned something. That's what we try to do every week. Try to learn a little something, right? That's my goal every day. I want to learn something new every day.
I was working in the shop today. Since I was in the shop, I helped Robert change shocks. I helped Chris put on a bumper on International. I did this, did that, and just messed with my truck a little bit. So, yeah, you got to be hands-on, man.
Look, they ain't gonna let us anywhere near our shops at my carrier,
I got pretty free reign in my shop. Everybody's cool with me there, and plus, I've been here for 15 years. So,
bro, they look at me when I walk in the shop and they're like, "Quick, lock everything."
Yeah.
They don't like me walking into the shop. They're like, "Oh, not this guy." Oh, look, he's got his contract in his hand again. Dang it!
No. Come on, man. All right, hold on. All right, hold on. Let me go.
Now I'm out of their terminal, so now they're really going to have to deal with me. Because now I got backing me up.
But this truck will be available. It's got 400,000 miles. I put them all on. I know everything about it. It's well maintained and fully pimped. I mean, I got 380,000 miles out of the drives. Still has the original brakes, which I'm sure they'll change. But one driver, one truck, that's the one you want. It has history. Me.
Right.
And it's never been damaged, never nothing. So if you guys are looking for a lease purchase through Swiffer Knight, look it up. It's an Indy truck, Indianapolis truck, and it's never really seen a lot of snow because I go south in the winter. So it's a good one.
All right, we're out of here.
Smoky gray metallic.
I am too slow. I hate your channel because it doesn't come up.
Give me your channel next time, man. I'll throw it up there.
Yeah, well, just give me a wrench and I can put it in myself. So, all right.
I gotta find you, bro. Type something.
Yeah. Oh, I'm on StreamYard. I'm off of YouTube. We'll do it next time. I'll just text it to you if Narc's got the number. If you got my number.
Do that. Why?
Yeah, we'll do that. Narc, just text him my what you call it.
I can't even find it on the fucking
thing.
How annoying.
Anyhow, next week, quick. We're out of here. Jeff, say your thing.
Hey, keep that rubber side down, guys, and remember, with no action, there is no traction. So get after it.
Jeff needs a nap. I need to go eat. You
There
guys,
you
you're going live right now, right?
Yeah, we're going live to do reaction to the new truckers coach people. So there you go.
All right. We'll see y'all. Y'all look after each other. No one's out here looking after us but us. I almost forgot what I was gonna say. And we'll see you next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern time, like most weeks. And I'll have some news on how I did on the load board this week. I don't know.
There you
Y'all
go.
be good. We'll see you on the other side.